Hi guys, welcome to Engineers YouTube channel, and today we're going to continue solving a problem involving combustion of liquid fuels, which is included in our series for chemical engineering calculations part 2. So let us begin by reading the problem. A crude petroleum oil is generally considered to be formed from animal and vegetable debris accumulating in sea basins or estuaries and decomposed by anaerobic bacteria, resulting in a black viscous product. A typical elemental analysis shows 80% carbon, 13% hydrogen, 1% nitrogen, 3% oxygen, and 3% sulfur. During a certain combustion, air supplied is less than the theoretical, so that all of the O2 is used up. 70% of carbon burns to CO2, the rest to CO. The molar ratio of CO to H2 in the exhaust gas is 1:2. Assume that all sulfur in the fuel burns to SO2 and the nitrogen combines with the nitrogen from air. Calculate A, the Orsat analysis of the exhaust gas, and B, the percentage of the theoretical air which is supplied for combustion. Alright, so there are things that I would like to highlight in this problem that we should be aware of before we proceed. Okay, so as you can see on this problem, it is stated that the air supplied is less than the theoretical. Okay, let me underline that. So in our previous problems, usually when we are calculating, we have excess O2, right? So we are supplying more air compared with the theoretical. So on this problem, we have less air supplied compared with the theoretical. So it is assumed here that all of the O2 is used up or consumed. Okay, so it is important to take note of that before we proceed. So next, what we have to do is to write down all of this information in our diagram here. So let me write all the information on this diagram so we can easily visualize what is happening in our problem. Okay, let us first write this elemental analysis of our crude petroleum oil. Okay, so our fuel is consist of, let's say here we have 80% carbon. So let me write that. 80% carbon. We also have 13% hydrogen. 13% hydrogen. We have 1% nitrogen. Then we also have 3% oxygen. And then we have 3% sulfur. Okay, so let me write that here. We also have 3% sulfur. Alright, so this is the elemental analysis of our fuel. So we are told that 70% of the carbon burns to CO2. Okay, so let's write that also in here. 70% of the carbon burns to CO2. And then the rest to CO. So that means 30% of the carbon burns to CO. The molar ratio of CO to H2 in the exhaust, okay, we are talking about this part here in the exhaust gas, is 1:2. So the ratio of CO over H2 is 1:2. Okay, so what other information we have? Assume that the sulfur in the fuel burns to SO2. So all of the sulfur burns to SO2. Okay, then the nitrogen combines with the nitrogen from air because we have nitrogen here, 1% in our fuel. So all of this nitrogen will be combined with the nitrogen that was supplied here, no, in our air. Right, so that's basically all the information that we have in our problem. So now let's start working out on this one. Okay, so of course, we should start by setting our basis. Okay, so on this problem, let us have a basis of 100 kilogram of our crude petroleum. Okay, so that means if we have 100 kilogram of crude petroleum, it means that we have 80 kilogram of carbon. But in this calculation, it is important to have their values in mole, okay, or kilogram mole, okay? So to save time, let us directly convert it into moles, okay? So let's multiply this, or divide this rather, to its atomic weight. So we know that we have 12 kilogram of carbon for every 1 kilogram mole, so okay, of carbon. So of course, our unit of kilogram of carbon will be cancelled out. So let us use our calculator. We have 80 divided by 12, which is equal to 6.67. Okay, so 6.67 moles of carbon. And we have 13 kilogram of hydrogen. So we have 13 kilogram of hydrogen divided to its molecular weight or atomic weight. We have 1 kilogram of hydrogen per 1 mole of hydrogen. Okay, so our unit will be cancelled out. So finally, we'll have 13 moles of hydrogen. We have 1 kilogram of nitrogen. So we have 1 kilogram of nitrogen divided to its atomic weight. We have 14 kilogram of nitrogen for every 1 mole of nitrogen. Okay, so the unit will be cancelled out, and so we'll have 1 divided by 14, which is of course 0.0714. Okay, then let's go to oxygen. We have 3 kilogram of oxygen. Okay, so 3 kilogram of oxygen. So we have 16 kilogram of oxygen for every 1 mole of oxygen. Okay, so this will be cancelled out again. So we have 3 divided by 16, which is 0.1875 moles of oxygen. I'm sorry, it's not hydrogen, it's oxygen. And then of course the last one, we have 3 kilogram of sulfur. Okay, so 3 kilogram of sulfur. So we have 32 kilogram of sulfur for every 1 mole of sulfur. Okay, so this will be cancelled out. Okay, so what's left is, of course, we have 3 divided by 32, which is 0.09375. All right, so now we have the number of moles of all our elements in our fuel. Okay, so let us try to find out first what's the total number of moles we have, okay, in our fuel. So let us just add all of this value. We have 6.67 plus 13 plus 0.0714 plus 0.1875 plus 0.09375, which is equal to 20.02265. Okay, So that's the total number of moles. Okay, so as you know, whenever we are solving a combustion problem, we are always solving for the theoretical O2 or the theoretical air. So let us consider a complete combustion right now, okay? Okay, so when we say complete combustion, we mean that all of our carbon has been converted to CO2. Okay, so how much carbon do we have in here? Okay, so we have 6.67 of carbon. Okay, so we have 6.67 carbon. So all of this is 1:1 ratio, all of our components. So that means we also have 6.67 O2 and 6.67 CO2. Okay, we also mean that all of our sulfur are converted to SO2, but actually this is our case here, right? It is mentioned that all sulfur has been converted to SO2, okay? So that means in terms of our sulfur, it undergoes complete combustion, right? So our sulfur is 0.09375, okay? So we have 0.09375. So this is 1:1, so that means this is also 0.09375. 0.09375. All right, for complete combustion, we also mean that all of the hydrogen in our fuel has been converted to water. So we have H2 plus 1/2 O2 is H2O. Okay? All right, so in our fuel, we are given with 13 moles of hydrogen. So we have H2 here. So that means if we have a given of hydrogen, we have to divide this by 2 because we have to represent our hydrogen here as H2. Okay? So if our hydrogen is 13, so that means we have to divide that by 2. So we have 13 divided by 2, which is equal to 6.5. So how much O2 we have here? So we have 6.5 divided by 2, which is equal to 3.25. Okay, and this is 1:1 for H2 and H2O, so we have 6.5 here as well. All right, so now we can calculate for the theoretical O2 because theoretical O2 is the amount of oxygen consumed for complete combustion. So that means we're just going to add all of this and we're going to get our theoretical O2. But we have to remember that we already have oxygen in our fuel. Okay, we have 3% oxygen here, which is 0.1875 mole of O2. Okay, and whenever we do calculation of theoretical O2, before considering the oxygen supplied from the air, we need to consider first the oxygen present in our fuel. So that means we are going to subtract this from this one. Okay, so let us calculate for that. So theoretical O2 is equal to this O2, which is used in converting carbon to CO2, 6.67, plus this O2, which is the oxygen used in converting sulfur to SO2, 0.098, sorry, this is 3, so 0.09375 plus this O2, which is 3.25. Then we have to subtract our O2 in our fuel. So in our fuel, we have 0.1875 oxygen, right? So this is only one atom of oxygen. So that means we have to divide this by 2 because we are working with O2. Okay, so we have 0.1875 divided by 2. Okay, so that is how we get our theoretical O2. Okay, so let's use our calculator to solve this. We have 6.67 plus 0.09375 plus, let's move this here, 3.25 and minus 0.1875 divided by 2. Okay? So we have 9.92 theoretical O2. Okay, so we need to take note of this. We're going to use that later. All right, so now let's go with the actual combustion, right? So this is what actually happens. All right, so in this case, we are going to consider the given information here, in which 70% of the carbon is converted to CO2 and 30% of the carbon is converted to CO. Okay, so let us start with this one. 70% of carbon has been converted to CO2. Okay, 70% of the carbon is converted to CO2. Okay, so that means we have C plus O2, CO2. Okay, so how much carbon do we have in our fuel? We have 6.67 moles of carbon, right? So we'll use 6.67 here. But only 70% of that has been converted to CO2. So we'll multiply this to 0.7 and that will be 6.67 times 0.7, 4.669 or 4.67. So this is 1:1. So this is 4.67 and this is also 4.67. Now the remaining percentage of carbon has been converted to CO, right? So as mentioned here, so 30% has been converted to CO. Okay, so we have C plus 1/2 O2 will be CO. Okay, so 30% of 6.67. So 6.67 times 0.3 is equal to, so 6.67 times 0.3 is 2.001. Okay, so this is equal to 2.001, but for our O2, you have to divide this by 2. So we have 1.0005. All right, and we also know about sulfur, right? So we have sulfur. Let me just rewrite that here, but we already done this here. Our sulfur is 0.09375. Okay, so this all 1:1, so that we already have that. Okay, so we have all of the oxygen used here, okay, in actual combustion. So we can relate that with our theoretical O2. And we have to remember that on this problem, the O2 is less than the theoretical O2, okay, because the air supplied here is less than the theoretical air, okay. But we haven't considered hydrogen yet, so we don't know how much hydrogen has been consumed. However, we have a given here in which we are told that the ratio of CO to H2 in the exhaust is 1/2. Okay, so let us consider that. So our ratio of CO over H2 is equal to 1/2, right? And we already know how much actual CO we have, which is 2.001. So if we consider this ratio, our H2 is equal to 2CO, or H2 is equal to 2 times our CO, which is 2.001. So our H2 is equal to 4.002 in the exhaust. So if H2 is in the exhaust, this means that this H2 is unburned, right? Because it stays in the exhaust. Okay, we have that H2 in here, which is supposed to be, it is converted to water, but because we do not have enough air supplied, so we have an unburned H2 in our exhaust gas. Okay, so that means this is unburned H2. Okay, so we know that we have H2 in our fuel. Okay, so we have that here, our H2, our hydrogen in our fuel. So which is 0.0714. Oh, I'm sorry. So we have a mistake here. This is a nitrogen, okay? Not hydrogen. So this is nitrogen, okay? So let us just correct that. So we have 13 moles of hydrogen, right? So we have to know, because we have unburned here. So that means if we subtract this from the hydrogen in the fuel, we will know how much hydrogen are consumed. Okay, so let us write here H2 consumed is equal to H2 from the fuel minus H2 unburned. Okay, so this is how you're going to find out how much H2 is consumed. Okay, so how much H2 we have in fuel? We have 13 mole. But this is H, right? This is only one hydrogen atom. So we have to divide this by 2, okay, to have H2. And then minus this unburned H2, which is 4.002. Okay, so our H2 consumed is equal to, let's use our calculator. We have 13 divided by 2. Okay, minus 4.002. So we have 2.498 of hydrogen which is consumed. Now, why is this important? Because based from the H2 consumed from our fuel, we will be able to understand how much oxygen is used in converting it to water. Because if this is consumed, that means it was converted to water. So let us go back with our equation, which we have H2 plus 1/2 O2. Converting that to water, right? So how much H2 is consumed? We have 2.498. So dividing that by 2, we have 2.498 divided by 2. That is 1.249. And this is 2.498. Okay, so our O2 consumed in converting H2 to water is 1.249. Okay, so how much O2 is used? So O2 used in actual combustion, right? So we just need to add all of the O2 used in our actual combustion process. So let's start with the carbon or the oxygen used in converting carbon to CO2. We have 4.67 plus the O2 used in converting carbon to CO. We have 1.0005 plus the O2 used in converting sulfur to SO2, 0.09375. Then plus the O2 used in converting H2 to water, we have 1.249. So O2 used is equal to, okay, let's use our calculator. We have 4.67 plus 1.0005 plus, let's move this here, 0.09375 plus 1.249. So we have 7.01325. 0.01375 25. Let's just round it up to 7.013. Okay, moles of O2 used. Okay, so now let us be clear that what we have here is the oxygen used in our actual combustion. Okay, but since we are looking for the ORSAT analysis, that means we also need to identify how much nitrogen will be in our exhaust gas. And of course, that includes the nitrogen coming from the air supplied. So it is important to understand now how much air was actually supplied. And we can do that by first determining how much our O2 from air. And how are we going to find out this value? Okay, so we know how much O2 is used. And the O2 used is just coming from two sources. One is coming from air and one is coming from the oxygen which is already in our fuel, right? Which is equal to 0.1875 single atom of oxygen. Okay, so let us use that. Okay, so O2 from air is equal to how much O2 has been used. We have 7.013 minus the O2 in our air, which is 0.1875. Okay, so 0.1875 divided by 2 because we are working with O2, right? So O2 from air is equal to, let us use our calculator. We have 7.013 minus 0.1875 divided by 2, which is equal to 6.91925. And using this, we'll be able to find out how much nitrogen are there in air. So we have 6.91925. Then multiply that to the ratio of oxygen to nitrogen in air, which is 21 and 79. Okay, so that means N2 in air is equal to, okay, so 6.91925 times 79 divided by 21, which is equal to 26.03. Okay, so we should not forget that there is also nitrogen present in our fuel, right? So we need to get the N2 total. So to get the N2 total, we have 26.03 from the air plus the nitrogen in our fuel, which is, we have here 0.0714. But this is single atom, so we need to divide this by 2. So 0.0714. Divide that by 2. So our N total is equal to, we need to add 0.0714 divided by 2 is equal to 26.06. Okay, what is that again? 5. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we can start solving for our required. In our required, we need to first determine the ORSAT analysis. And when solving for ORSAT analysis, we need first to determine what are the gases are present in our exhaust, the number of moles of each of these gases, and the percentage of each one of it. Okay? So what gases are we expecting in our exhaust? We have CO2. We have carbon monoxide. We have H2, which is unburned, and we have SO2, and we have our nitrogen. Okay, so we're already done with our calculation, so we just have to copy our number of moles. Let's start with CO2. Okay, for our CO2, we have 4.67. Okay, so 4.67 CO2. Next is for CO. Okay, for carbon monoxide, we have 2.001. For H2, we have our unburned H2. Okay, so we have here, where's our unburned? This one, our unburned H2 is 4.002. For our SO2, how much SO2 we have? We have 0.09375. And for our N2, we have our N2 total here, which is 26.065. Alright, so let us get the total number of moles. So we're just going to add all of that. We have 4.67 plus 2.001 plus 4.002 plus 0.09375 plus 26.065. So we have here 36.83. Okay, so now let's get our ORSAT analysis. We just need to get the percentage of each of our gas in here. Okay, so let us start with CO2. Okay, for CO2, we have 4.67 divided by 36.83 times 100. So we have 12.68%. Now for CO, we have 2.001. So 2.001 divided by 36.83 times 100 is 5.43%. Okay, for H2, we have 4.002 divided by 36.83 times 100 is equal to 10.87%. For SO2, we have 0.09375 divided by 36.83 times 100 is 0.25%. And finally, for N2, we have 26.065 divided by 36.83 times 100. We have 70.77%. Okay, so this is our ORSAT analysis. And now let's go to our question 2 or question B, wherein we need to identify the percent of the theoretical air. Okay, is that correct? We need to find out percent of the theoretical air which is supplied for combustion. Okay, so we need to find out the percent of the theoretical air. So percent theoretical air, which is equal to the O2 supplied from the air over the O2 theoretical. Okay, so you remember we calculated how much is the O2 required for complete combustion, and the O2 in air is the actual air supplied. Okay, so this is multiplied to 100. So percent theoretical air is equal to how much is our O2 from the air. So O2 from air 6.91925. And our theoretical O2, okay, we have here our theoretical O2, which is 9.92. Okay, so we'll divide that to 9.92 times 100. Okay, so percent theoretical air is equal to 6.91925 divided by 9.92 times 100. So we have 69.75%. Okay, so this is our answer to our number 2 problem. Alright, so I hope that you learned a lot from this problem. So that's all for now, guys. Thank you very much and have a nice day.